When I was 26 years old, a therapist said to me, where there's codependency, there's anger. And though I didn't fully grasp or understand the gravity of what she was saying at the time, I remember thinking to myself, that feels really true. And boy, is it. In fact, I might go as far as to say that what we call codependency actually is latent anger in the body, along with some hurt and repression programming. If you want a picture of the origin of codependency, imagine a child born into a world where both of his or her parents are traumatized, repressed, and thus unconscious and unavailable. Neither parent would be able to form an authentic relationship with the child because due to the nature of emotional repression, neither parent knows who they actually are. That's the thing with emotional repression. Who we are is buried deep in the body, and it forces us to show up falsely. Though it's not always the case gender or role-wise, this is why you have the archetypes of like the timid, fawning mother or the tough, stoic father. Mom represses anger and dad represses vulnerable emotions like hurt and sadness. And so they're both compelled to show up as a facade of themselves. So now you've got a little being coming into the mix and being raised by two facades, not to mention into a world where emotional repression and pretense is the status quo. So now, even though we're not conscious enough for it to be a choice, typically, there's a choice to make between attachment or going along with the program and with the pretense and with the facade, or authenticity. And guess which one feels more dangerous? You probably guessed right. And so most people choose attachment because most people have a need for protection and safety and love, even at their own expense. Now, imagine how much anger about the state of things has to be repressed and pushed down in order to stay attached and get needs met. Can you see how we're moving towards what codependency is here? It's a compulsion to repress ourselves and our emotions and suffer in order to stay safe and to get love. And by the way, this codependency, aka the compulsion to suffer in order to get needs met, shows up in two different ways. If you know the attachment styles, it's anxious attachment or avoidant attachment. Anxious attachment says, I need to move towards the facades or any mom and dad surrogates. And the avoidant says, I have to move away from them. But either way, you're still dependent on and at the mercy of other people. Maybe I'm old, but you know the U2 song, With or Without You? I can't live with or without you. That's the anthem of codependency. But here's the game changer, ready? The reason we can't live with or without other people isn't because of other people. It's because we've never been able to access, feel, and express what's true for us. We all have buried emotions in our bodies that are driving our suffering and repression programming that forces us to not know about this. Or if it gets bad enough where we have to start noticing that something's wrong, we call it things like depression, anxiety, addiction, chronic pain, codependency. But at the end of the day, it's still buried emotions and the repression of them that's underlying all of these suffering states. So how do you end codependency? Well, you resolve emotional repression. If you'd like to learn how to do that, visit repressiontest.com.